Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome. Ain't no stopping in the fast lane. Gotta kick this shit off. Excuse my language. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Tuesday. Around the corner. Happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Playas Circle. We back at it. We back at it. How y'all feeling tonight? Hope y'all feeling good. Hope y'all enjoying yourselves. Hope the week has been off to a successful start. Got to get off to a successful start. You know how it goes, y'all. We here for a good time, not a long time, but we're gonna keep you entertained throughout. Got some great segments, some great questions. So you know what we here to do. Make sure you go grab a baddie, go grab a friend, tell them to pull up, cause we here, we live. Keep your eyes on the Judas. Gotta bang us. Gotta rock to some Renaissance here while we get started. Y'all know what it about. You know what it be. It's always a good day to listen to the Renaissance. Tonight's episode is appropriately titled, my boy said he sneezed and tore his ACL. Old age is crazy. It's real out here, y'all. It's really real. You start to get up in age, everything go up. Hopefully the finances go up. That's what all you can pray for. You know what I mean? But weight, cholesterol, pain. Nah. Getting old is what you make of it, but it just be some different, like, it'd be a different experience. You just move the wrong way. You be like, ouchie, ouch. You can't help it. So, for all my youngins, all my YKs, young kings, my YQs, my young queens, or the YBs, the young baddies, the main thing I say to you is to take care of yourself. You know what I mean? Stay in shape. Get that appropriate level of exercise so that you can be out here doing all of this when you get older. Hit that mean heel toe. I don't want y'all to be walking around with the slow bop, the Air Gordon. Shout out if y'all know about that Air Gordon. Now, what did y'all get into over the weekend? I know I gave y'all the preemptive Disclaimer, know your history while you celebrated the 4th, if you celebrated at all. And we definitely took time out. My family is one of the family that celebrates obviously our true freedom and celebrates our we celebrate Juneteenth as well, but we as African Americans, we do at least cook out. We do hit the grill on the 4th of July. And so unfortunately it was dumb hot. They was had the meme going around of Michael Jackson talking about some I'm melting, y'all. That's how hot it was. But we found a way to get, to bring the grill food inside. I had to pull out that cast iron skillet. And we was able to get some burgers, some hot dogs with the grill marks, some skewers. My mama loves some skewers. She had the grilled chicken on there. Gave Beans a little bit. Beans his diet has transitioned. He eating like a damn wolf now. So I don't want that dry food. I don't want no beef tuna. I said, come on, Beans. You ain't paying for none of this. But we still gotta make sure Beans is well kept, and so we try to look out for my boy whenever we can. But it was good to be with my peoples. Good to be amongst family. What my boy Vin Diesel say? Family. But some other things was going on. I seen some news. They announced the WNBA reserves, and shout out to the other reserves. I saw my girl Angel Reese made it. NECA, who are my other starters that I picked previously, so they made it. Kelsey Plum. Can I pull up the starters? Let me see if I can pull up the starters for y'all. Excuse me, not the starters. If I can pull up the reserves. See if we can do that for y'all. The reserves. All right, let's take a look. Just so that y'all can see, cover my face for just briefly, because this face was made for the Tizu. But yes, shout out to the reserves. Sonya Centron representing the Mystics. Kiki. Also from the Mystics, Big Bully Kiki. Ryan Howard and Alicia Gray from the Atlantic Dream. Jonquel Jones. I've seen Jonquel Jones in the mall. I was in New York. Jonquel put it on, y'all. I ain't gonna hold you. She got that fashion. I said, hey, who is your tailor? Marina Mabry, who recently tied the single game scoring record for 53 points in a game, just shooting nothing but threes, guaranteed to get you I ain't gonna disrespect her, but guaranteed to go 0 for 7 in the next game. I'm just playing, Mabry. I'm just playing. But shout out to my girl Courtney Williams from the Stud Buds and Jackie Young from the Las Vegas Aces rounding out the reserves. So shout out to y'all. Now, I will be watching the All-Star game. It's in Chicago. Chicago been having a lot going on. I don't know if y'all saw my girl, Skylar Diggins, crash out because they put her on the bench today. It's the first time she's not started in 277 consecutive games. She has started, and now she's coming off the bench. You know, many people that watch the WNBA are not very fond of the Chicago Sky organization and how they run things, but we wish her the best. You know, she make the best of a bad situation. Maybe she get traded, you know, because there's a lot going on. A lot going on. But just craziness. Play some of that key story. Let that bang in the background. Now, was anything else going on? I did see something going on. I try to usually avoid the drama, but it's a lesson, you know, in here for us to learn, especially in the era of social media. So I want to make sure that I discuss it with class and dignity. But there was some recent video footage that surfaced of popular and legendary radio and TV host Big Tigger. It's your boy Big Tigger, who's unfortunately going through some, you know, turbulence with his marriage. But there was footage of Big Tigger and his wife having what we'll call a skirmish. Cyrus the Virus, what's good? Shout out to my peoples on Instagram. As I did not mention, you know we always doing our live dual stream. So shout out to my boy Cyrus representing that CU. But yeah, it was very unfortunate. I never like to see, you know, couples going through it, but it wasn't your traditional footage. It wasn't no Diddy footage or nothing like that. But my boy Big Tigger seemed to be in a skirmish, just trying to get back his phone because his lady had his phone and would not relinquish it. She was holding on to that thing like it was the cure for world hunger. You know what I mean? I said, now that's how you hold on to the rock. If you want to be a running back, that's how you hold on to the football. Like she was holding on to his phone because she was not giving it back. Christopher Johnson, what's good? Lincoln, what's good? Appreciate the subscription. Appreciate the subscribing. Shout out to my peoples on YouTube. My YouTube people be showing love, man. We gonna get together. We gotta do something we gotta coordinate something for the YouTube subscribers. But I appreciate the sub. Tap in, stay locked in with me. Tell your peoples, tell your mama, tell your aunties. Lincoln, where you from? Let me know where you from, so we can represent for you and your I'm about to say your hood, your neighborhood. As we play some Renaissance music in the background. But in addition, going back to what we were talking about with Big Tigger was just trying to get his phone back, and this positioning that he was in, if you've ever tickled with, had a tickle fight with your lady, you're familiar with the positioning. He wasn't roughhousing her. He was just trying to get his phone back, but she had that thing tucked. And somebody was filming this all at the, while this is going on, talking about, Mr. Tigger, please get off of her. Mr. Tigger is crazy. But you hear Tigger in the background saying, I'm not touching her. I ain't stepping on. I ain't doing nothing. I just want my phone back. They said you can get another phone. You don't know what he got on that phone. Something near and dear. Clearly, I'm blessed to say I've never really been in that situation. Never been in that situation. One, I pride myself on, my selection of partners. That, look, man, I ain't gonna be going through your phone. I want you, and I ain't really wilding out. Now, I'm on Instagram. I see. But that don't mean you got the light. That don't mean you got the, you know what I mean? Now, I will be honest. I was about to say, like my boy Bow Wow said, there was a time in my heathen days, I was a flirt. You hit that. I would like to practice getting my jokes off. But, and one day, your boy was doing too much. And Bay said, who the is this? Who is this? I said, you had to scratch your head like Tommy. But it was nothing, like I said, well, I don't want to call it harmless because obviously there was harm there. But I mean, it's like I wasn't doing nothing, I wasn't out here creeping. So, I had to make amends. I had to do right. But, I ain't never had nobody trying to capture my phone and hold it hostage. That's a bit, damn, Tigger, what you doing? Now again, you gotta be careful out here, man. And I say be careful, I'm saying for yourself. If you know your circumstances, if you know you a little bit, too flirtatious, if you know you got people on you, hey man, you gotta, what do they say? Avoid circumstance, avoid the temptations. Make yourself invisible. That's the only thing that you can really do, and continue to try to prepare yourself to, remember what you got, because you will lose it. You will lose it. That was the one thing, like I said, I had built up a high level of trust and loyalty. Just getting a little bit too familiar. Too much of laughing, or too much of the hearty har-hars. That's one thing as a man you shouldn't, don't ever, and I learned this, as I said, I've learned this. But one lesson I learned, especially when I was in college, I had a girlfriend in college, was you never want to make your woman question her role as the queen, the one and only. The minute you do that, you're going to have hell to pay, hell on your hands. And my girlfriend in college was Jamaican. So it was on me. But it was on me. I had to take the responsibilities. Now, Big Tigger, I watched you since a young scrapper, watching Rap City. When I go down and visit grandma, listening to you on the radio. I think you was WPGC. But I hope that y'all able to get y'all affairs in order. I hope for the best. Seems like it's a lot going on. But I'm only mentioning this because all this is allegedly, minus the footage. The footage that's big ticket. You know what I mean? But we don't know what's going on. But what I can say is that it's a lesson for all of us. Listen, man. One, don't position yourself to be in a place where your mate is doubting you and concerned about your loyalty and your trust. Second thing is, it's also very important to make sure that you're not with a person that does not trust you or has trust issues, because it's dangerous out here. Now you done lost your phone. But we move on. Now, we had a great episode last week. We was talking about Young Miami. What else did we discuss? We talked about the Empire State date. We talked about Jaylen Brown joining the Sixers. But we got a lot more to discuss tonight. We got some good topics. So let's go ahead and move on with the show and get into the ball-headed logic for the day. All right? So now, tonight's ball-headed logic, pretty straightforward, but tonight we're discussing sometimes you're the common denominator. Sometimes you're the common denominator. And when I mention the common denominator, no, I'm not about to give you a math quiz. No need to bust out the calculator. But, Strange Roots, what's good? Talk to me. Hey, shout out for all my peoples in the IG. Drop an emoji in the IG. Drop the emoji with the sunglasses. If it's your first time, if you a frequent visitor of the player circle, throw up that one in the chat, the YGB. But as I was saying, no need for a calculator for this particular topic. When we're talking about the common denominator, what we're referring to is when there is a staple amongst situations, amongst problems, amongst issues. Okay? Shout out to my sister, D. Again, happy belated. But my sister has a humorous saying that we like to say, or that she started, but we like to say. And the saying is, if everywhere you go it smells like cabbage, damn it, it's you. Now, to break that statement down, it simply means that if everywhere, any and everywhere that you go, there always seems to be a problem. It always seems to be an issue. Always seems to be something going on. There's only one thing that is common in all of them circumstances, and damn it, it's you. So you got to identify yourself as the common denominator and figure out, man, how can I work to avoid these situations from happening over and over again? It's hard. It's very challenging for people to recognize or identify themselves as the reason why relationships may not work out, as the reason job situations always go awry, as the reason that finances get a little bit bad between people. Appreciate that, Caleb. Likewise. But it's really, really necessary. It's very necessary. And why? It's necessary because we are in a space where In order to get better, we got to get real. In order to get better, we got to get real. I hope that makes sense. It's tough to identify yourself as a catalyst, excuse me, a culprit. It's tough to identify yourself as a culprit. We all want to work towards being the catalyst. And in order to do that, we got to sit down, take a real assessment of what's going on, and say, damn it, all right, I'm the person here that needs to make the adjustment. It ain't always everybody else. You're like, oh my God, see, this is what I'm talking about. You are triggering me. Ah, baby, everybody can't trigger you. And if that is indeed the case, we got to figure out why it's so easy to trigger you. Why are you able to be triggered? What is that trauma that we need to harness? So I want y'all to sit back sometimes. I want you to look at yourselves. I want you to look at the circumstance. I want you to look at the history. I want you to see if it's something that is repetitive. And I want you to look in the mirror. Because unfortunately, especially in situations of negativity, we cannot be the common denominator. We want to be the common denominator when things go right. We want to be the common factor, the tying factor of why things are successful, or why relationships go well, or why business deals get done. That is where we want to be the common denominator. But if we are in a situation where every time something goes wrong, you can find us in the we in the video, we all in the video, we gotta fix that. Okay? So that's the bald-headed logic for the day. Rub your scalp if you rocking with me. And if that information helps you in any capacity, use it, know it, submerge yourself. All right? Now, let's keep this thing going. We have not done a when I send you this in a few weeks. So we want to get back. I'm going to hit y'all with a when I send you this. You know, when I send you this is usually when we highlight a celebrity or a sports player and we hypothetically send a picture of this person to either the group chat or to a baddie of choice. And whatever that celebrity or sports player is, they have a significant meaning behind why we're sending them. So tonight's when I send you this is the good brother Giannis and the Kumpo, and it's pretty straightforward. If I send a picture of Giannis and the Kumpo to the group chat, to the player group chat, it's quite simple. I'm out of here. It's been real. I'm gone. I'm headed to South Beach because you out here and y'all are acting crazy. As you can tell, I usually reference the group chat acting crazy. Shout out to the YGB group chat. Shout out to the Why Me group chat. But y'all are acting crazy. And so I'm sending you a picture of Giannis because I'm out of here. Get me up out of here. All right. Now, if I happen to send a picture of Giannis, not to be confused or mixed up with Tenasis, the nasty Antetokounmpo. But if I send a picture of Giannis Antetokounmpo to the baddie, that means it's time we get a little freaky. Greek freak, South Beach freak. Just a bit, not too much. Not too much. It's my birthday, as Giannis likes to say. Donnie Boy, what's good? Shout out to my peoples over on the IG, popping in. Appreciate y'all. Y'all make some noise, man. Make sure that y'all like the live, man. If you're enjoying yourself, make sure that you drop a comment. Let the player know where you're at, where you're from, and if you're having a good time, all right? Now, we want to keep this train going, keep this thing moving, and I'm going to get into the What Are You Talking About segment. And What Are You Talking About is where we look at some things that have been popping up on social media and just discuss them, discuss what we're seeing, what's going on, and see if there's any analysis to help us out. Now, one of the things that I saw, as many of you know, I'm an artist manager. I manage Cheek the Prophet, Key Story, as well as Johnny Quest the Rebel. And I'm a music executive, working playlist curation amongst other things, brand consulting and marketing. But one of the things that caught my eye this week was a sad post from my girl. And my girl would be, in this case, Coco Jones. And Coco Jones was highlighted but also celebrated this week because she had several moments of transparency. This may have been 2 weeks ago, honestly. Forgive me. J313249, what's good? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Appreciate you for pulling up. Shout out to my peoples talking on the YouTube. What y'all talking? I need them to start showing me my comments. It'll pop up though. Now, I'm gonna pull up this post from Coco Jones and I'll take a look at it and we can discuss together. But the clip is of Coco Jones basically talking about her experience in the music industry and how she's looking to really just kind of connect, if you will. All right. So let's pull this up and see what Coco got to say. Coco!
I never came into this game knowing exactly what I do. I knew I could sing my ass off, like that was pretty clear. That was kind of like the only consistent, but like I didn't really have like a thing. I don't think I really have like a personality, sure. Like, relatable, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, I think that is biting me in the ass right now. Like with this album, um, I feel like the reception that I'm getting out in the world is like confusion. Obviously, I get that because in the inner world it's confusion. Not specifically about what I stand for, what I'm trying to talk about, things of that nature. But really more like how does it sound? How is it supposed to sound? What is the sound? I'm so drained. Actually, I'm so drained at this process of like trying to figure this shit out because I feel like the thing with me is like almost there. It's like almost clicking. Like what the hell is the almost? Why is there always an almost? How long is there gonna be? I feel like we're at the final hour of all this shit. It either has to click or it's gonna be over. And I'll always be like, damn, what could have been?
So shout out to Coco. Shout out to Coco for the transparency. And I think this post is actually a step towards answering her question. And she had another post where she was just kind of discussing the music or some of the single choices in the, with her producer. And I thought it was a very, very transparent and vulnerable moment that a lot of artists go through. And it was a great opportunity and a teachable moment. One of the things that I am seeing the music industry transition to, and it's been happening really for the past, well, we can say it's 2 to 3 years, perhaps even more, is this space in which your music takes a back seat to your mission, to your personality, to your character, and people wanting to really have an understanding of who you are. And as a result of that, that allows them to really be able to align themselves with the type of music that you make. Whether you are just a music head, whether you are a creative, whether you are just a cool ass person, whether you are you have a political views or socio-economic views, any of those things, whether you are a dreamer, people really want to have an understanding of who you are and what you represent as we start talking about elevating beyond virality or elevating beyond having what people love to call the machine or resources behind you. Now, Coco Jones has been in the industry for a very long time. I ain't gonna sit here and act like, oh, I know, and I know Coco Jones since she was 2 years old. I don't know that, but we've seen her, you know, with her start with Disney, has she really, really, elevated even further in her adult life with the Bel Air series, and use that as a launch pad to really get her music to a place of recognition and really grow into a young star. But even as such, there's tiers, and we all are always trying to elevate. And I believe that Coco Jones wants to be looked at in that next tier of young stars. You see the success of a Kaylani. You see the success of Victoria Monet, who's older with no disrespect, because Victoria Monet fine, but just these different plateaus that people want to aspire to. And I think in order to do that, there has to be a clear cut understanding of who you are, what your presence means in our life, like you being there. What is it like? What is the significance of that? And then what is your purpose? Coco Jones, for a good number of time, into by her own admission, has been a person that can really sing, which that's not a problem. She is very attractive. No disrespect to Spider, even though he could have beat the Knicks, but that we ain't gonna hold that against you right now. We ain't talking about you. We talking about Coco. But she's an attractive young woman. She's a dynamic and talented young woman, and she can sing. The thing that this always comes back to when with the music industry or just the entertainment industry, being in a creative space or an entrepreneur, that talent has to be connected to something in order for it to really, really be validated. There's a lot of talented people. There are a lot of talented people. And so the higher and higher you elevate, my father used to say this to me when I was young. He was like, you're a very smart young man, but the further that you go along, you're going to run into more and more competition. You're going to see a lot of smart people. You're going to see people that's smarter than you. And what do you do to separate yourself? And this holds true with Coco, which I think she's on the right track because she's asking the right questions. So for me, as a music executive, the one thing that I would just encourage her to keep doing, which is what she's doing, is to one, be vulnerable, because in your vulnerability is the vision. The second thing is to be encouraged, because so many of us, so many artists, so many people go through this trying to figure out who they are. And when all it takes is just one moment to be like, oh, I understand this. What my boys say, I understand it now. But that's all it takes. And then also know, in terms of being encouraged, is that you are supported. People really do care, and people really do recognize you as a talent. So as you continue to show who you are and whose you are, amen, uh, it will become very clear, and the people that need to find you will align themselves with you. And you need to just continue to build out that community. So I think that's the main thing. But what Coco Jones is talking about is something that so many artists, so many creatives go through, where it's just like, yo, I'm right at the doorstep. I think we all go through that. I've experienced that, to a degree. I mean, I'm still going through that. We all are kind of always having these conversations. So it's really important to just recognize where, you know, where you are, where you can win, what makes you special, what makes you unique. What are the things that make you tick? What are the things that make you smile? What numbers to dial? But it's just really, really a conversation that once you start to really answer those questions, everything else starts to just reveal itself. It starts to reveal itself. So definitely continue that conversation, Coco. And obviously I'm excited to see where it leads you, because once you start to figure out who you are, what's important to you, what your importance is when you're in the room, um, the songs are easier to pick. Your voice within these different songs becomes easier to identify, and answers just slowly, slowly start to reveal themselves. So continue on, Coco. Keep doing your thing, and we're gonna pay attention to you and your journey. All right. Now, moving on. What else did I see that had caught my eye? Oh yeah. I did see this. I think my mom was gonna like this. Let me see if I can pull this up. This was a very interesting question here. If I can find it. Cause I saw that. Yeah, here it go. Here it go. So obviously we just coming off the 4th of July. We coming off of, the cookout. Lucas said Messi will win the World Cup again. Will he? It's lining up. It's lining up. Is that who you rooting for? Y'all gotta forgive me, man. I ain't really been tapped in. My shout out Quest. Quest been like, oh man, bro, you watching the WNBA? Oh, I'm watching the World Cup. You damn right. But shout out to everybody. Uh, Lucas asked me, what do you think about XXX Tentacion? Well, what in what regard? Obviously a great talent and rest in peace. But what in what reference? And just in terms of his music, in terms of his legacy, let me know. But moving on what we was talking about. I know we just been, it's the summer. So in addition to the holiday just passed, it's also cookout season. But the real questions were asked on this recent podcast, the Quit Playing podcast. Shout out to them. And the question was about cookout attendance. Let's bring this up here.
So if the cookout is from
Yes.
if the cookout is from 12 to 5, what time do you get there? About 3.
Whoa.
Because it's not gonna end at 5. And it's not gonna start at 12. So I'll probably be there from about 3 to 8, and then I'll leave, and then the grown folks go keep doing it. You've seen a cookout actually end at 5. I've never seen a cookout end at 5. But getting there 3 hours after it starts, I think it's a little bit atrocious. What time you been? It starts at noon. My family would not be set up. You walking at 2, it's early. That's not how my family operates. Y'all be on time. Say it starts at 12. At 12:30, things are gonna be like food is
Woo!
So if the cookout is from if the cookout is from 12
Shout out to her. Shout out to her. Whoa. Now I know for most of y'all, this is a heavy hitter because I know, man, for your boy. And shout out to the Perry family. Shout out to the P family. But Lord, if the cookout was supposed to start at 12, let me say this, we've gotten better. Let me speak positivity into the air. If the cookout started at 12, what time are we eating? And what time should I arrive? Now, the thing that has changed for me was I was in a space where I would be helping to cook, so my attendance was required early. And I'll use 2 separate situations and circumstances so that y'all can get an idea of time. Now, a few weeks ago, we went to Father Charles, Pop Charles P. We went to my dad's house to celebrate him for Father's Day, and we had we put some food on the grill. And I'm thinking we probably got down there around 12. The cookout didn't necessarily start then because we had to go to the grocery store and get some food. But let's say that we got back around 2. And this is when the grill was first cracked open. Shout out to all my propane grillers. Now, we probably started eating hot dogs at the minimum. I'm gonna say about 3:30. Woo! That sounds like a long time for the dogs to cook, but you gotta set up everything, gotta grease your grill, gotta clean your grill, grease your grill, get it to appropriate temperatures. Yeah, we probably started getting the dogs out to the kids about 3. Now, people were already in attendance, so let's say that was about an hour and a half, 2 hours for people that was already there. Conversely, the other day, 4th of July, got down there. I arrived at, let's say, about 3:30. Mom was cooking. She was doing some stuff in the kitchen, so I couldn't get in there immediately. That took another about half. So that's 4 o'clock. You had to get the, season the meat. No freaky. Turn your freaky down. Probably 8. We probably started eating like 5. So I think the cutoff time, the average, the composite time is about an hour and a half from the start of when we get there to when we go at least start having something to consume. So I would personally say, if you want to get there and enough food and a large amount of food is done, I would say about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So Shorty said 3, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just quickly go back to hear what she said. It says 3. She said about 3. So she's 3 hours late. She wants to make sure that all the food is available, or giving herself the best chance to be able to walk right to the table. I can respect that. It seems crazy, especially if it's supposed to go from 12 to 5. But here is where your historical knowledge of cookouts will really benefit you. As the young lady mentioned, there's a high probability that we not ending when it say it's going to end. It say 5. You probably going to go to about good 7:30. Don't let it be no libations. It's going to go longer. People going to be sitting around, don't want to leave. The person who's hosting wants them to leave, but that ain't how it goes down. So I understand this. Now, if people are trying to move in a timely manner, and when you got to know who you dealing with. You got to know who you're dealing with, because if these are people who start on time, and 12 means food will be ready within the first hour, bring your ass on time. Otherwise, you're going to be getting the food that's been already, you know what I mean? It done already been scoured over. And you don't want that. You don't want the seconds. You don't want the seconds. But very, very interesting. Shout out to Burr I Am and the crew from Quit Playing Podcast, because that is a very, very interesting question. And the young lady Jasmine too, with the very lovely blowout. Now, moving on, continuing on. Let me play some music in the background while we vibing just a little bit. But now, YouTube over here, they talking about Egypt was robbed. Shout out my boy Adrian. Adrian, you tapped in? You said Mo Salah was fouled. It's a travesty. Hey, somebody let me know who's left. I know US just got knocked out by Belgium. Josh Hart said we ain't eating no Belgian waffles. Pancakes from here on out. Queen Mo Better. I like the name. Queen Mo Better. What's goody? Y'all keep me on my ones and twos. I'm missing people pulling up to the Instagram. My boy Jay, much love for pulling up, aka Weeks. Weeks been out here making moves. Much respect to you, young man. I gotta catch up with you when I can, man. Your boy have been out of commission, but a return will soon be made. So stay up. Now, next topic that we can talk about. This is kind of a quick hitter. I just wanted to show y'all this because this had me cracking up. These next two subjects had me cracking up, and I like to keep it humorous on here. All right. So the first was this. Let me stop giggling. Where's Shorty at? All right, here. Y'all check this out real quick.
Like me? Why even care? Very serious question. Do I give a fuck? That's why I'm
Yo, shout out to Nirvana. Hey, yo, the way she was whipping them damn nunchucks. What my boys say? You brought the nunchucks. Lord have mercy. Now, the reason I'm laughing at this, y'all, forgive me for being so young and giddy, was, have y'all ever been in this experience where it's like, yo, the person that you're interested in is fine, but they crazy, or they daddy crazy, or it's just this extreme flaw that you really like, damn, am I really about to overlook this? What is, so, you know, in this circumstances, she fine, but she could whoop your ass. Would you still get with her? Would you still holler? Now, I'ma just keep it a beano with y'all. Every woman that I done been with, for whatever reason, I ain't never caught no mink. But for what they just be real strong. You ever tried to play fight with somebody that's strong? You like, all right, now you did too much. Now you did too much. One time I got kicked out of bed. Like, we was playing and she kicked me and I fell out the damn bed. I said, oh, now you went too far. Why the fuck your quads, why the hell your damn calf muscles that strong? Ain't even no reason. It's no reason. And it's always the lower legs. It's always the lower body. You know what I mean? You can grapple, but if them motherfuckers get them legs on you, catch that sweet chin music, be out here looking like Ike after he was in the car with Tina. I don't want to be like, that's what I'm saying. What's a flaw that you would overlook? Or what's a flaw that you can't overlook? If she fine, but she could whoop your ass, you still gonna get with her? Like, would you get with Alicia Baumgartner? Hell yeah! Hell yeah, you would get with Alicia Baumgartner. Cause she fine, but she could whoop your ass. Now, she fine, but she dumb. Ooh, I don't know. Cause you gotta meet mama. She gotta meet moms. She gotta meet sis. My sis went to Brown. She Ivy League. I can't be bringing up no. You ever seen the videos, the clips of the people trying to read the index card? Struggling. You can't bring that home to Brown. That's crazy. Now, so let me recap. I could do she fine, but she could whoop your ass. I could do she fine, but she fine, but she cuss. Now, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm from Jersey. And, you know, cussing, that ain't nothing but some seasoning. But I don't think I can do she fine, but she dumb. I don't think I can do that. And I can't do she fine, but she dirty. You do not, fellas, you do not want you a dirty woman. We rough around the edges. You can't have a university of dirty. You can't have a universe of dirt. An ecosystem of filth. Mm-mm. And let me be clear. It's a difference between. It's a difference between. It's a difference between. She got a lot of stuff on the bathroom sink, but the whole rest of the house clean. All right, you're pushing it when your car dirty, cause we grown now. All right, clean your car up. But the crib, if her crib dirty, run. No way out. Yeah. But what's a flaw that you would tolerate cause she fine? I think that's an interesting one. Y'all let me know in the comments. What's something that you could overlook if she fine? Alright, now I got one more thing. I got one more. I got to vibe with y'all with, and then we, you know what I mean, we raise up, we gonna bid a do. This last one. All right, y'all. Hold on, let me mute this cheek. And Chris Patrick was one of my favorites, by the way. But here we go, y'all. Recently at the baseball game, y'all let me know what y'all think. Oh, play that song.
SpongeBob theme song. R&B. Oh, I need to see it. Come on. Who lives in the pond under the sea? Yeah. If not a cool house, it's something you wish. Then drop on the deck and fly.
Yeah. Hold on, bro. I got you on ad libs. SpongeBob SquarePants. SpongeBob SquarePants. SpongeBob SquarePants. SpongeBob. Yeah. Oh yeah. Ooh. Pants. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Bikini bottom. Yo, he was rocking. SpongeBob SquarePants. Ooh, yeah. Bro, where they find this dude? Shout out to him. Let me find his name, man. We need to know who this dude is. Jarius Jones. Jones Terrell LJ. Or Jones Terrell J, excuse me. That's his. Jones Terrell J is his handle. But SpongeBob SquarePants. Yeah. I'm telling you, if y'all know me, y'all know I'm gonna take a song and we gonna put that R&B spin on it. Don't let me get on that Amen remix. Turn the lights of heaven on, shine on me. Do 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 do. Martin. You gotta, yo, I'm telling you, bro. And you know I'll be on that Jingles 2000 too. Plain white rice. Plain white rice. Yo, shout out to them, bro. Cause that joint was lit. I was like, where they find this dude at, bro? Why he harmonizing the damn uh the SpongeBob theme song so harmoniously? That joint had me cracking up, bro. Oh man. But hey, to Marion Antoine, excuse me, Antoine Bell, appreciate the sub. Appreciate y'all rocking. Now, let's kind of tie this all up. We've been on here for a little bit. I had a couple questions. I'm gonna just give y'all one, then we're gonna go into the Ceddy's recipe and get on up out of here. Now, I'm gonna play one. I know I'll be playing a bunch of clips, but I'm gonna read a tweet. I'm gonna read a tweet. Hey, MIM Entertainment, my boy Diamante on here. What's goody? I appreciate y'all all rocking on the IG. We having a good time. Faux show. Now, the tweet that I want to read y'all, and then I'll play the clip in the background for y'all audio consumption, but it was from the homie, and her name is Butter. But Butter was talking about, oh man, I wanna. Y'all got me going, bro, because it was mad clips that was happening this week. All right, I'm gonna talk about this, and then I gotta play one more from y'all because it's on that like Love Island. I don't know what that tip is, but let me go to this Butter clip and or what she was talking about. Damn, where my girl Butter at? So Butter, who's an artist, shout out Butter, but she basically had a response to a podcast clip from my girl Keke Palmer. Keke Palmer was on a podcast on her own talking about this in a capacity, but then she also was on the Horrible Decisions podcast with Mandy, and she was talking about how she's very humorous and like she likes to try. She doesn't like to be serious, or she wonders why we're so serious during sex. Okay, it's like why does it have to be like that? So Butter said, I think it was Keke Palmer podcast where she said that people should laugh more during sex, and I agree. Should it be mad laughing like ha 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 ha? No. After a while, I'm gonna say focus up. But the chemistry should be that we can make a joke here and there. Now, I responded to this. I thought this was a very great response to the to the clip. Me personally, I am a person that I am a lover of sorts, but I like to have a good time. That being said, I think there are parameters around this when it comes to laughing and joking around during sex. I think it can be flirtatious, it can be fun, especially during maybe like a foreplay. Even certain there's certain moments of the initiation of the physical intimacy, like you know what I mean, of the intercourse portion. But all right, y'all, let's have some. let's keep it within you know certain constraints, because then first of all, let me just say, I love Kiki. Y'all know I love me some Kiki. But the thought process of Kiki going crazy, laughing and acting all wild, you know what I mean? Y'all get to the point y'all taking your clothes off and Kiki talking so, I know it ain't this style, yeah. Oh, come on, Kiki. All right, Kiki. Relax. Relax. You know what I mean? You start getting in your groove. Kiki talking about some, yes! Yes, baby! Kiki, you gotta go. You gotta go. Cause damn it, it's like, all right, yo, we can laugh and joke, but don't do me like that. Don't do me like that. So some of it is like it's hit or miss. It's definitely hit or miss. I think there's a space in which you can honestly, like I said, you can make jokes. I know in one instance, like I said, not to be too uh, risque, grotesque, but we were having a moment, man, my lady and I, and she said, "Oh my God." I said, recognizing God and His goodness, I said, "God is good." And she started laughing. I started laughing. It was cool. But what happened after that? It was just like when you have a joke with your barber and then he cut them clippers back on. Because now it's time to get back locked in. You're not about to mess my line up. Them clippers come back, we get serious. You know what I mean? So that's what it all comes down to. Me personally, I think it's just you got to be able to be enjoyable. You want to again not to be, because I know moms watches. I don't want to be too extreme, but intimacy, romance, love, the act of love is enhanced by chemistry. Chemically, chemistry, as Nutty Professor would say. So it's when you're with somebody that you actually enjoy, when you're with somebody that you have fun with, of course, that makes it better. My boy, he might say, I'm cracking jokes while we cracking. He cracking, she cracking. We at L. He wow. I get it. Trust me. I get it. I think you should have fun. But it's like with Keke Palmer specifically, and what she talks about in the clip, you can tell that, like I said, it almost becomes a level of awkwardness trying to lock in and trying to be so sensual and seductive. And most people that are comedians or most people that are naturally funny, the defense mechanism is to start making jokes, which is like it can ease the mood, but sometimes when you're making jokes, man, you can throw the mood off. I ain't gonna hold you. So it's like you gotta have a sense of who your partner is, and I think all of that matters when it comes into the when and where. And to me, like I said, I like to make the jokes maybe to start quick, right, maybe at the beginning, to get the mood, everybody comfortable. We can laugh afterwards after a riveting performance, but I ain't gonna be out here doing no Def Comedy Jam, going over my routine. Yeah, because now we acting crazy. All right, but y'all let me know your thoughts. Is it cool? You make jokes during sex? Is you out here with the knee, the knee slappers? Gug, 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 gug. You doing all of that laughing? You know what I mean? Or is it a quick hitter? Or is it straight to business? You said business. Now, y'all, let's finish up the show. We've been on here for a minute. My damn phone done died. But let's finish up the show with Ceddy's recipes. That's right. Y'all favorite segment, the recipes, in which where we talk about a norm or custom from yesteryear, and we celebrate that and share it with the youth in hopes that they keep the tradition going. In the past, we've mentioned such things as not splitting the pole. We've talked about Uno, God is good, the movie Meteor Man, do-rags, and many other important subjects and traditions from the past. But tonight, I bring one which may not be fully exclusive to Black culture, but is well known within the culture and one that we actually adopt. And that, my friends, is the legendary device known as the T-Mobile Sidekick. The T-Mobile Sidekick. You was locked in before Apple and the iPhone tried to run everybody out of business and separate the Black community. I said it. I said it. Because that's all it is. Y'all trying to be so divisive. But before that, when we all had variety, when we all had uniqueness, one of the great devices and one of the most popular devices was the sidekick. Man, if you didn't live in the sidekick era, if you ain't never did this, flip, split heck out, and hit that phone. Boy, what a gift! What a gift. Okay? It was a special time. And it was beautiful because you could get in your bag. You thought it was bad texting now? When you had access to the keyboard and you could punch them buttons, it was the equivalent of doing this. You could slam your phone down when they had flip phones. When you could feel the emotion as you typed a cuss out. Or you sent that special message to tell Shorty to come through. Yo, pull up. Woo, what a time. What a time to be alive. It was special. It was indeed special. And so I say to all of those, and I say specifically to the manufacturers, Queen P, what's good? Queen P. But listen, if you was around, you know, and as I was saying, to the mobile companies, the manufacturers, if you really want to win, you would determine whether that permit is available, whether you could get cracking on recreating the sidekick, because it was nothing like it. We always retroing some Jordans, retro the sidekick, because I'll be on that. But hey, we we had a great time back in the day, man. You had a chirp, you had a sidekick, you had a Nokia. You know what I mean? You just had different phones. It was a great time, and your phone was an extension of your personality. But hopefully one day y'all get to experience something like that. Everybody got the same damn phone now, but it's all good. Now, we're going to conclude the show. We're going to end the show here. I want to thank y'all. I want to thank my YouTube family. I want to thank my IG family for pulling up on your boy. We had a great time. If you missed the show, be sure to catch it on YouTube tomorrow when the broadcast re-airs. And we will definitely have some clips from the show to, celebrate. But make sure you out here living life, you being your best. Tap in with your boy. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Ceddy P. And follow the Keepin It Playa pod channel, page, account as well. All right? Keepin It Playa pod. Now, till later, y'all know what to do. Keep it blessed. Keep it real. But always keep it playing.